Greetings to all my tech heads out there in the KevTechify Nation, and if you're new here, welcome. In this episode, we're going to look at secure management and reporting. We'll be discussing types of management access and out-of-band and in-band access. This episode is part of my series on network security. I'm Kevin here at KevTechify. Let's get this adventure started. From a reporting standpoint, most network devices can send log data that can be invaluable when troubleshooting network problems or security threats. This data can be viewed in real time, on demand, or in scheduled reports. Now, when you're logging and managing this information, the information flow between management hosts, the point where the data is collected, and the management devices, it can take two different paths. First one here is in-band. So this is an example of in-band here. Information here flows across an enterprise production network, the internet, or even both of them on regular data channels. It shares the bandwidth of your network. So we have our production network and we're collecting data on this. And what happens is it flows across your network. This is where all of your other traffic is going, all of your data on your network that all your end users are using, it flows across here. All of these log information, it's flowing across that same network. So it's using your bandwidth of your network. It is inside the bandwidth of your network. It is in band. That's where we get the idea of in band. Now, this is called out of band. So out of band. Sometimes people abbreviate it as OOB. Out of band here is information flows on a dedicated management network on which no production traffic goes. So we have your dedicated network here. And none of this logging traffic goes across here. What we have here is either a separate network or this could be console connections to all of your devices. This information flows not on your bandwidth. It flows outside of the bandwidth of your normal network. This is where we get out of bandwidth. So it's not on your bandwidth, it's outside of your bandwidth. As a general rule, for security purposes, out-of-band management is appropriate for large enterprise networks. However, it's not always a desirable solution. You have to have either a separate network, so you have to maintain a second network, or you have to have connections to your console ports, and you have to collect data that way. Now, the decision to use out-of-band management depends on the type of management applications you're running, and also the protocols that you're being monitored. Out-of-band management guidelines here is out-of-band management provides the highest level of security. Because it's a separate network off of your normal data network, we're looking at very high security. Or we're looking at console ports where they have to have physical access to get to your device to get that. And hopefully your devices are in a locked, secure data center, not just in the back of your janitor's closets. Next here, mitigate the risk of passing insecure management protocols over a production network. Sometimes you can't get away from using these insecure management protocols. And Telnet, I'm looking at you on this one. Sometimes you have some old equipment, maybe you even have some poorly written or designed equipment that only uses Telnet. Telnet sends that information across your network in clear text. So if somebody had access to your network, they could see that clear text being sent. That's why sending it on an out-of-band management path, console ports, a separate network, is considered more secure. In-band management here is recommended in smaller networks as a means of achieving a more cost-effective security deployment. In such architectures here, management traffic flows in-band in all cases. So it flows inside the bandwidth of your network. It shares that bandwidth that the rest of your data, your user traffic shares. It is made as secure as possible using secure management protocols such as SSH. You want to use SSH, you don't want to use Telnet. Now, In-band management guidelines here are apply only to devices that need to be managed or monitored. So you have to make that decision. What am I going to monitor? Once you've done that, use IPsec or SSH or SSL when possible. We want to encrypt that traffic as it crosses your network. And then finally, decide whether management channel needs to be open at all times. Do we need to monitor this all the time, or can we monitor it for a period and then turn off that management? Now, in a production environment, if you're monitoring your devices, odds are you're going to monitor it all the time. It was my pleasure to provide you with this wonderful episode on secure management and reporting. If you like this episode and you got value out of it, and depending upon the platform you're using, please click that like button, give a 5-star rating, leave a comment. This all helps me bring you more great content. Please take a minute to subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell. All my socials and contact information are on my website, KevTechify.com, and you can get all of these episodes in video and podcast form. In the upper right is my playlist for my series on network security. In the bottom right is one of my favorite videos that I linked just for you. Thank you so much for watching this episode on my series on network security. Once again, I'm Kevin. This is KevTechify. I'll see you next time for another great adventure.